Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jared Johnson, and boy, it sure wasn't pretty, but Texas Tech did get the road win, 61-57 at Kansas State Tuesday night, and it was a weird game. It was on CBS Sports Network, which of course, I'm employed by CBS, but that's a different channel. Tech doesn't play often on that channel, so there was that, but. I'm not just kissing butt, but the broadcast was fine. It was just weird. It was also weird that Kansas State, who's been struggling this year, they didn't have a packed house, so it was kind of eerily quiet for the first part of the game. And then neither team could score in the final 5 minutes of the game until Darian Williams made a driving late in the shot clock, leaning contested kind of layup runner, which put Tech up by 4, which seemed like an insurmountable lead. And indeed, it would end up being an insurmountable lead for Texas Tech with both teams struggling to score so much. I want to give credit to the defenses, but, Texas Tech had a rough night, just bottom line. Darian Williams had a good game with 16 points. Elijah Hawkins continues his very stellar play. He had 14 points, I believe. Make sure I get this right. 9 assists. Couldn't remember if it was 8 or 9, but 14 and 9. He did have 3 turnovers, but on that night, Tuesday, that wasn't that bad. You had guys falling down, passes thrown to players who weren't looking for the ball. JT Toppin had struggled again. I think he just had 6 points and 4 rebounds in limited minutes. Chance McMillan only put up 4 shots, didn't score a lot. He scored way below his average. Christian Alexander was good. He had a good game, but overall it was just a sloppy, ugly game. But a much-needed win for Texas Tech, who's now 12-4 overall and 3-2 in the Big 12. It's weird that both their losses in Big 12 play came at home, and all 3 of their wins have been on the road. They do return home to play Arizona, who has been on fire. They're undefeated in the Big 12. They just beat Baylor by double digits Tuesday night. And that game is 1 p.m. Saturday. Oh, by the way, Texas Tech football is going to have a lot of recruits in town for a Junior Day event. We have a visitor list on Inside the Red Raiders on the Insider, but that's beside the point. In terms of basketball, I thought it was funny that not funny, it was interesting that McCaslin said that JT Toppin has been kind of under the weather, hadn't been feeling well. He had that knee injury, a minor knee injury, but had him out for an extended period. He tweaked his ankle recently, and then, there's an illness that's been kind of going around, and that apparently JT's been suffering from illness as well. So, some people have said he had strep. I don't know if that's the illness he had, but if he suited up with strep throat, then that's impressive, because a cold's one thing, even like certain types of flu or another, but having strep throat, at least for me, when I've had it before, there's no way I was suiting up to play basketball, even in my Uncle Rico days. So that's impressive that he showed up. But regardless of what has been holding JT back, Tech's going to need him, and this doesn't take a expert analysis. But Texas Tech's going to need him to be, at the top of his game if they want to have any kind of like big time season, like special season. This team's good right now as it is. I don't think it's great, but it's good, especially offensively. At times when they're focused and locked in, they can play pretty good defense. It's never going to be a lockdown defensive team like we've seen in relatively recent years, but they could still win a lot of Big 12 games, get in the tournament and all that. But if they want to have like a special season, can really contend in the Big 12 and make some kind of deep run in March, then, Toppin's got to be in tip-top shape. So hopefully that happens just for him and then obviously for the team. But I did like to see Darian Williams respond. Looked like he was going to go down with that ankle injury there for a while. I had a scare in that game against Kansas State. I love what I'm seeing from the true freshman Christian Anderson. Like I said, he had a really good game. Elijah Hawkins has been really just great in Big 12 play, so that's good. And Chance McMillan, they have to find a way to generate offense, like run some offense through him, get him some looks because he's too good of an offensive player to only put up 4 shots. Now that was a aberration. I think that Kansas State game, that was just a weird game, and got to give them some credit for some of the scheme and defense they played. But there's just no excuse for Chance McMillan only getting 4 shots. Like I said, he's too good of an offensive player, and I've noticed that in a couple of games. This isn't. I don't think this is. He kind of is the odd man out sometimes, and he's just too skilled of a player to not get more shots. Federico has been, I think, better than most of us expected. I mean, the way it is right now, I think Tech overall is better with him on the court than JT Toppin. Now, they play both of them together sometimes here a little bit in Big 12 play, but, Fetty brings a lot of defense, and then also as a screen and roller, that high screen and roll game, which is such a big part of Tech's offense, him rolling as a, guy who can catch lob dunks and throw it down, has been helpful. He had a good game against Kansas State, 9 points and 7 rebounds. So, that is good news. But big challenge coming up against Arizona. Like I said, they've been hot. Their demise was already foretold just early on in the season. But I mean, they have come back and they look really good, undefeated in Big 12 play. Like I said, just beat Baylor by double digits. So Tech's going to have their hands full Saturday, but I'm looking forward to see how they respond. I think they will play really well, and hopefully Toppin is feeling good and can really provide one of those double games we got so used to earlier in the season. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.